Continuing on in our breakout series for players that are set to go off in 2025 for this college football season, Eric Singleton transferred to Auburn from Georgia Tech. Dude's a Swiss Army knife, and he could be that missing ingredient for Hugh Freeze to finally get the party started offensively for the people out there on the plains. We'll break it down right now. Before we do that, though, make sure you are subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. College football, nothing but college football. Auburn fans, hear me clearly. Y'all been good to us. We've had a lot of y'all get subscribed to the channel. But if you're scrolling through the feed and say, man, I wish they'd do more Auburn videos, more Auburn content, the best way to get more Auburn content is by subscribing to this channel, to this video, because we get to see, oh, wait, we did an Auburn video and the people subscribed to that. Okay, Auburn fans are dialed in. Let's give them what they want. So appreciate y'all being dialed in. Again, supply and demand. Appreciate y'all for that. So one of the big thoughts I had when Eric Singleton committed to Auburn, and we started to, break down what he brings to the table, and we talk about, the things he did during spring practice. Auburn last year was not nearly as bad as their points per game offensively would indicate, which gets you dunked on Twitter. We've sort of visited that a few different times, but Auburn last year, they were top 40 in yards per play, but they were 93rd in America in points per game. Old Brian Inhorse. Why is that? Now, why is that? Well, from what I can gather, they had trouble hanging on to the football, which is a whole separate discussion. But the other part of it is I think Auburn got into the high red zone and had trouble finding guys that would just go make the play for them, or not just go make the play for them, would be able to go win the specific matchup for them when the area of the field got a little bit more condensed. Because Cam Coleman's a dog. I think the next step for him is to be that continual matchup winner for them in all different situations. But when it's one-on-one coverage and there's a little bit less ground to have to defend if you're a secondary, it's a little bit more difficult as a coordinator to be able to manufacture wins in that way. Like when you can stack the box and not worry about the offense throwing the ball over your head when you're on the 25 going in, like it's a tricky spot as a coordinator, tricky spot as a play caller if you're Hugh Freeze. So Eric Singleton, what he gives you, what I said at the top of this thing, Swiss Army knife. Match him up on a linebacker in the slot or a safety in the slot. Put him in the backfield if you want to. Split him out wide. Like, you can essentially pick and choose your matchup with Eric Singleton. And if your quarterback finds him in the right spot, you're going to have a chance then to exploit that matchup and get in the end zone. To put it simply, I think he could be that fix in the red zone that Auburn's been yearning for here, with him being the guy for you now on this offense to go along with the other weapons you have, which is kind of my next point. I think not just will Eric Singleton have a breakout season, but we talk so much around all the talent Auburn has offensively, especially on the perimeter. I already mentioned Cam Coleman. You know all the names from that freshman class that came in with Cam Coleman that are now going to be sophomores. Like there's no shortage of dudes for Auburn in that wide receiver room. So now you add another guy that I think is maybe in some ways potentially a different genre of receiver. What I just mentioned, you can split them out and put them in all these different spots. That's going to elevate Eric Singleton, but also it's going to elevate Cam Coleman. When you look at Cam Coleman's best games a season ago, one that came towards the end of last season, which makes you feel like, okay, maybe the light bulb was going on for my guy, maybe the light bulb was going on for the staff in terms of how to utilize him. However you want to slice it, good thing to have him finish strong at the end of his freshman season, but also his best games, to put a second point on this, came when Keandre Lambert-Smith, the other receiver for Auburn last year that was balling, had his best games. I mean, when Keandre Lambert-Smith was getting close to 100 yards, Cam Coleman, a lot of the time at the end of the year, was right there with him. Okay, look at the Alabama game. Look at the game against A&M. The other game against a G5 opponent whose name escapes him right now. Like, all that's to say, Auburn, they're at their best. Offenses in general in college football are at their best when you have different ways to attack a defense with different personnel. So now having Eric Singleton for defenses to worry about, on top of Cam Coleman, on top of those other personnel pieces they have in that receiver room, they're going to be in a good spot, I think, to have a much better output offensively. So the other part of this that we liked with the transfer of Keandre Lambert-Smith a year ago, coming over to Auburn from Penn State, now gone to the league, Eric Singleton could maybe play a similar role to that, because Eric Singleton now still is another year of college football on a one Cam Coleman, going to be a junior. Cam Coleman's going to be a sophomore. I love the fact that you have someone who's done it at a high level, at the P4 level, also in that room to help maybe mentor some of those younger guys. And maybe it won't be such a mentorship because those guys aren't freshmen, but just a guy who you can look at what he's done in the ACC and say, you know what, he's got something figured out. Let's stay after practice with Eric Singleton and get some extra work on the jugs. Let's maybe watch some extra tape with him because he clearly knows what he's doing. Someone that just has done it at a high level that can keep that bar set where it needs to be set for the rest of this room, I think that's going to ultimately benefit everybody in that room over there on the Plains. So last thing now, and I want to make sure we make this very clear. A lot of Auburn's success in 2025 offensively will go with the confidence of a one Jackson Arnold. Because when you play confident football, you usually play efficient football. Efficient football equates to somewhat low mistake football, which is what plagued Jackson Arnold at Oklahoma. Having Eric Singleton as a consistent matchup winner, to me, manufactures easy touches. Easy touches for a quarterback to a playmaker like Eric Singleton builds confidence, gets him in rhythm. A quarterback in rhythm, what I just said, confidence, good things happen, your offense starts to hum. Like last year, Auburn, we've said it many a time, but I'll beat that dead horse one more time here. Like Auburn last year probably should have won at least 8 games. They gave away a couple of games just from turnovers alone. Cal game, Arkansas game, Missouri game, like turnovers were the Achilles heel. And you can't sit here in the month of June and say, well, if we didn't turn the football over, we'd be a much different team, because it's like, well, you did turn the football over, so what are we talking about? But it's not unfair to have a discussion around how good Auburn could be going forward if they clean up those turnover mistakes with a new person at quarterback in Jackson Arnold, and the receiver in Cam Coleman another year better, and Eric Singleton another year better. So Eric Singleton overall being a confidence boost you would hope for Jackson Arnold his first year on the Plains. I think that could be not just a game breaker for Eric Singleton and his production in 2025, but I think Auburn as a whole could be breathing different oxygen offensively because of what that can mean for Jackson Arnold. So let me know in the comment section. We put a lot out there in terms of what we think he brings to the table for the Tigers, but I can't wait to watch this dude ball in the SEC. Special player, special piece for Hugh Freeze, and good things I think will come from him being on that roster out there for the Tigers. So again, make sure you're subscribed. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. We will keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.